in which we are trying to find these kind of technologies at the corporate website. So you can see here that we have the blogs from also from the internal and external point of view. We have blogs from management, from shareholders, from employees, from the rest of the stakeholders, right? We try to check if they are using any kind of syndication, like the real simple syndication, podcasts, also widgets, also webcasts. And we check if they provide videos, and if in which videos you have the possibility as a user of the web page to give them some kind of feedback, right? So the conditions to find Web 2 technology in this study is to be participant and to be located at the corporate website, right? So to conduct the study, we have been analyzing the press rooms, the investor relations, and the sustainability, because in our opinions, that these parts of the web page are more dynamic, and it's more likely to find this kind of technologies there. After that, we would like to analyze if the size of the bank and also the float factor of the bank could have any influence in the level of use of the Web 2. Are more classical variables, and we are at the very beginning of the study, so we would like to try to check this hypothesis. This is the classical econometric model. Okay, float are provided by stock, and the assets are the assets according to the balance sheet at the end of 2008. And here we have the first results. As you can see, many of the banks are not using Web 2 at all, right? So they are only a few of the banks, 5 or 6 banks, are using 20% of this kind of technology according to the list. So as you can see, the average is 6%. We are really at the very beginning of the use of the technologies for corporate reporting. You can see the result of the econometric, and you can see here a certain level of relationships, positive relationships between the float and the assets and the sophistication of the web page according to the index. But as you can see here, the adjustment is not so good. So at the moment, we don't have nothing much more than a weak relationship between them. Well, we have tried to conduct another kind of econometric model. It's a binary logic. In this contrast, we try to see if the float factor and the assets are influencing in any ways the possibility of a specific bank to be above the average or inside the average. No? And the results are more or less coherent with the previous one. We have positive relationships, but very, very, very weak. So at the moment, the main conclusion is that the use of Web 2 for banking corporate reporting is quite low. And many of the companies are not using this kind of platform at the corporate website, but also they are using external applications like, for example, Thomson Reuters for the webcast. So at the moment, it's not easy to find this kind of technologies at the corporate website. So we are really at the very beginning. As you can see here, the most used technologies are the syndication, that are more classical Web 2 technologies at the moment, and also the real-time webcasts, right? So these are the two main technologies being used. Well, one of the limitations of the study is that, as we have said before, that we are only analyzing the corporate website. So it's possible to find perhaps unofficial YouTube channels, but they does not belong to the management of the company. So it's not official. So we are not considering this kind of platform at this moment. Right? So at the moment, we have detected, as you can see, a lack of strategy, because we are analyzing very good websites when they offer the possibility to vote by electronic means during general shareholders meetings, and they have a good level of accessibility, and they have good quality of navigability, because we have analyzed this sample before in our research articles. But at the moment, they are not using this kind of technology, and this, in our opinion, at the moment, it's not a problem of of technology is a problem perhaps of the difficulty to control the information. If you open your resources of information and you generate a Web 2 tool, you have to control what kind of feedback from the public you are going to publish there. So it's difficult to understand how this kind of initiative is going to be implemented. No? So at the moment, we have a lot of research questions here. First, we would like to speak with the leaders of the banks. We would like to see if they perceive this technology is likely to be applied, and what is the most important Web 2 technology for them in order to establish what is the relative importance. Because at the moment we are using a common index. It's just a checklist, and we are not considering perhaps the influence between one over the other. So we would like to speak to the leaders of the banking industry. We also would like to know if Web 2 is more easy to use for voluntary or for compulsory information, right? And we would like also to know if that kind of sophistication index as a checklist is a useful tool or not to see the situation of the banking industry in each moment, and also if it could be also used to analyze the evolution, right? So we would like to ask ourselves different methodological questions about these articles. And we would like also to see if the central banks could be interested in the kind of technology in order to be themselves more transparent and receive the comment from the banking industry. At the moment, we have a different strategies from the central banks to try to reinforce the financial system. Perhaps it could be a new tool to communicate with the banking industry. And we would like to go in deep with the relationship between the XBRL and the taxonomies. And perhaps XBRL could modify any aspects of the way in which the working groups are really doing the work, using the philosophy or a few points of the philosophy of the taxonomy, or the other side. Perhaps the taxonomy needs to gain more advantages of the previous experience of the XBRL working groups. So in our opinion, it could be an interesting dialogue that could be promoted. And we have a lot of questions about intellectual property, because if you have a website, the website could be protected by intellectual property, but if you open the website for the comments of the public, how to establish the boundary between your content, the content of your online community. In our opinion, it's difficult to establish that. That's an additional research question. And also the question of the expertise. So because if you are going to accept any comment in a financial information, how to see the expertise of the online community, how to accept people who do comments at your corporate website, and how to establish what is the legal responsibility